Welcome to another episode of Big Al's Big Tips.
Hello everybody, it's Big Al with some more content for Lord of the Rings Rise to War. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Smash the like button on my videos if you've learned anything, if you like the content. Also, now there is memberships as well, which will get special content, early views on the videos, different videos contoured just to the members only. You can also tip me with the thanks button and hit hype on the videos as well. That helps out as well so I get more recognition from YouTube. So, now let's start the video.
So, this video is going to be a little bit different. I am going to talk about a commander that could be a sleeper commander for free-to-play players. So, when you're looking to build an army, you're always trying to get an advantage over your enemy. Whether it's you're trying to make your Sauron act faster before the enemy so that he can debuff them, or cause madness, or you want another commander's speed to be faster so he hits first, or you want better buffs. Okay, so I'm going to talk about Mouth of Sauron, which kind of is a complicated commander, and he could be used in a couple different ways. Once I can scroll down to him, there we go. So let's take a look at his skills. Okay, first you have Black Numenorian, which a few others have, and this just adds a focus damage onto normal attacks. Has a minus 10 debuff for defense and a minus 10 attack as you go on. You got Harbinger of Darkness. And this one, for the first 2 rounds, attack of 3 enemy formations on both sides minus 25. And it's modified by command. And it will go to 3 rounds, and then you get extra commander defense. So here's an interesting skill. For the first, I'm just going to say 3 rounds, attack of 3 formations on both sides, minus 25, and it's modified by command. So even running purple, you're getting 300 command, so that's an extra 15. So you're talking a minus 40 attack, and that is on both sides. Now, here's one of the things I want you to think about. Okay, Saruman, Galadriel, those kind of commanders are focus based. So that minus 40 isn't going to bother them. But generally speaking, the bigger whales and everything are going to have probably 2 physical damage dealers. Dane, Beorn, Shadow, just to name a few. So if you're running, your tank, your support, which would be Mouth of Sauron, and then 2 focus, like say Saruman and Galadriel, they don't get affected by this. Right there is a possible one advantage you're getting because you're debuffing them, and even though this does debuff your attack as well, honestly, you don't need the attack with those 2 focus damage dealers. So that's one way. Now we're going to go to R2 the Messenger. For the first 3 rounds, normal attack damage dealt by 4 enemy commanders is minus 50% at 10. And that goes up to the first 5 rounds. Okay, I know you're thinking, normal attacks, that's not the main part of the focus. Correct, it's not the main part of the damage. You're going to get more from skill. But think about the people that are running Shadow, that have the dual blows, or the Gandalf the Greys that are running dual blows on his skills, or people that are using troop damage, because troop damage, unit damage, is considered normal attack. So you could be running this one for minus attack, which also affects the unit as well for the first 3 rounds, and then you get this one for the first 5 rounds at minus 50% damage. Well, this one, is going to affect you too, but it's for 3 rounds, and this one is for 2. So not only are they getting extra debuffs on the normal attack for the 2 rounds. But if you're running 2 focus damage dealers, this doesn't affect you at all because honestly, you're not looking for your tank or your support to do a lot of damage. So let's talk about his fourth skill, Lieutenant of Barrador. And this is a specific skill, attack of medium units in 3 allied formations, plus 15, modified by command. It's got an extra attack buff for 1 allied troll formation, which means doesn't have to be his unit, it could be the tank's mountain troll. And then it also gives unit damage stat plus 5%. So this one is very specific on medium units. And so the attack of the medium units, the mountain troll would not work. You would get this attack buff, but not this attack buff. So you got half trolls, cave trolls are large. You can have half trolls for mediums, or you can just use cavalry units. But these are the 2 biggest ones that I think can be huge because right here, if you're using focus damage dealers, it doesn't affect you, but theirs is going to be down. And again, if you're using purple gear, you're going to get 15 to the modification, minus 40. And it is on 3 formations, not all formations. So there is a chance that they still might have one of their DDs at full attack. But that could be very helpful. Running him with 2 focus damage dealers, or even if you just wanted to do your normal 2 damage dealers and say they're both physical. Okay, yes, you're getting this debuff 2 for the first 3 rounds, but right here you have 2 rounds that you are going to be completely 100%, but they are still getting 50% less damage from normal attacks from all of their commanders. So it's a trade-off. So like I said, he's a sleeper that I think that free to play might be worth trying to figure him out. You know, you'd use this skill only just to get the extra instance of enemy white council off. I don't really see this skill that much because it's specific on the medium units. But I do like these 2 debuff skills because that could very much help and it gives you an advantage. So for gear, you would just be looking for, like here, this would work. This would be best in tank gear, best in slot tank gear. You could be using purples, which I don't think I have any saved on the plan. Nope. So purples, you'd be looking like a cutlass. You could go the troop damage for those 2 rounds, for rounds 4 and 5. So where you're getting unit attack using the Mirkwood bow. So that or a cutlass. On the helmet, you're looking at the horse helm or maybe the trapper's hood, for that unit attack on the trapper's hood. But you want the command because those modify off command. And then in purple armor, you'd be looking at the superior hawbuck. Yeah. You could also use the goblin armor for unit attack too if you wanted to. And then purple, you're talking the drums of Moria. I mean, you could use the hobbit fiddle. This one, that's unit defense. The firework for the unit attack. So you could go either way. I mean, you're not really looking for Mouth of Sauron to do much damage. It's more about doing a debuff to the enemy and giving you that advantage where you're still hitting full for rounds 4 and 5 and his normal attacks are down 50%. Because like I said, if you're running against the enemy's running a shadow, he's got dual blows. Gandalf the Grey generally is in PvP is going to be running his Mithandril skill. If this loads, I can show you. Right down here. Okay, chance for dual blows. There's other ones like Isildur that has a dual blows, things like that. So this is just one thing I wanted to point out for free to play players to think about. You know, he's a legendary commander, so it's not too hard to get him to respect level 4, and he could be usable. It gives you a slight advantage. You know, if he fires off those debuffs against the enemy, you get a little extra time to try to do some damage. So, nice, easy, quick, short. So, hope you guys think about it. And as always, make the most out of what you got.